All right, Shalom. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha HaKadosh. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who does lead and rule well. Salutations to all you hopeful like Akim pushing out this word in sincerity and in truth throughout the four corners of the earth. And sincere shalom also to all you Akim and Akwaf listening and learning, preparing yourselves here in these last days. All right, until the entire household of faith, fighting this good fight of faith, I want to say shalom. This is your brother Daquar from the DC camp. Come back at you with another lesson. And I'm entitled this one, Give Your Hearts. All right. And this is the picture you see is from it's from a scene, or it's pretty much from Attack on Titan. Let me see if I can make this smaller. Attack on Titan, man, and you can see, I don't know why he got his left hand, but majority of them got their right hands over their hearts, just like you pledging allegiance, to like they make you do it to the flag. Ultimately you pledge your allegiance to your power, man. Now they have a saying, which this is an anime, a Japanese anime, Shinzu wo Seiyagu. Man, I can't even say that word correctly, but that's how they say it. Seiyasgyo, but it's a popular phrase in that show, Attack on Titans, man. And it became popular because right before they would say these things, and it was their reason, their purpose for going into battle, man. And it looks like what it looks like is insurmountable odds, man. But in the story, it's it's a rallying cry. Give your hearts, or also dedicate your hearts, or devote your hearts. Different translations, or synonyms of that, But essentially, this guy in the front is also right here. Dedicate your hearts. His name was Irwin, but he was like the leader of the scouts regiment, where they had to go out and search. They pretty much had to search, trying to discover, what was out there. I'm not gonna give too much away, but it was a dangerous journey, and so they had to dedicate themselves. But these give your hearts, that when he gave a rallying cry in these pivotal moments, when it was about to be intense battles with these with their enemies, I'll say, but the phrase itself pretty much encapsulates courage and determination, man. When they faced insurmountable or overwhelming odds, they had to put their lives on the line for their cause, man. And it's the same thing for us. And every time, when I was watching this show, which I think they're coming out with a couple more episodes, but I pretty much watched everything that they had. And when these scenes was happening, man, we filter everything through the scriptures, and I just was thinking of the book of Maccabees, man. Matter of fact, let me get this real quick. It just popped in my mind. Romans. Yeah. 1 second. This is Romans 15:4. It says, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope." Okay? And when you read in the book of Maccabees, when they was in all throughout the scriptures, man, when they was about to make go into battle, and Jake was afraid, he would mention the different things in the scriptures, when the Lord protected us, man. And it's the same thing, because we about to be faced with the insurmountable odds, it looks like. But like I said, it just looks like that on the surface, man, because we have the true power, man. You just got to dedicate your hearts. But let me keep going. What I wrote down. Yeah, the phrase "give your hearts," usually is accompanied by dramatic scenes of action, man. But what's displayed is bravery, sacrifice, and a unyielding spirit, in the face of adversity, man. And these are the characteristics that we gotta have, man. Because the enemy, the only thing he can really take he wants, he can try to take your body, but he cannot take your faith, and that's what he wants. He wants you to lose your faith, So you got to be faithful unto death. I'll get that too. Getting a couple of scriptures, man. Then I'm gonna get a couple of little stories on this, and I'm gonna call it a day. Not call it a day, but wrap it up. First off, I'll get Sirach. Okay. This is Sirach 4, or Ecclesiasticus 4:28. It reads, "Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee." All right. So we gotta fight for the truth unto death, man. Revelation 2:10 says, "Be thou faithful unto death." I believe. In the let me see. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna start at I'm gonna start at 10. Revelation 2:10 says, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life." All right, and those 10 days is not a literal 10 days, man. No matter how we can't sit up here and put a time limit on the Lord. I was reading with the brother in the book of Judith last week, where they tried to put a time limit on the Lord, man. And Judith had to correct them on that. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Because ultimately, the leaders at that time was giving into the pressures of the people, And he said, give it. Let me see. He said pretty much like give it like 5 days. Let me see. Yep, this is Judith, the 7th chapter. I'm going to start at and we're going to have to be faced with these things, man. But remember, we got to be faithful unto death, man. It's already written. This is Judith 7, verse 21. It says, "And the cisterns were emptied, and they had not water to drink their fill, to drink their fill for one day, for they gave them drink by measure. Therefore their young children were out of heart, and their women and young men fainted for thirst, and fell down in the streets of the city and by the passages of the gates, and there was no longer any strength in them. Then all the people assembled to Ozias, the chief of the city, both young men and women and children, and cried with a loud voice, and said before all the elders, The Most High be judge between us and you, for ye have done us great injury, in that ye have not required peace of the children of Assur." Yeah, because we was about to be conquered. You check out the movie 300, where he was going around with his great army with all these other nations in it. It's around that time period. But it just gives you a picture of what was going around at that time. But the children of Israel wasn't just giving in to their army. And so they besieged us. They encamped around us, cut off the food and the water supply. It says, "For now we have no helper, but the Most High have sold us into their hands, that we should be thrown down before them with thirst and great destruction. Now therefore call them unto you, and deliver the whole city for a spoil to the people of Halifernes, and to all his army. For it is better for us to be made a spoil unto them than to die for thirst. For we will be his servants, that our souls may live, and not see the death of our infants before our eyes, nor our wives, nor our children to die. And so that was what they said. I'm going to jump down to verse 30. And this is his reply. Then said Ozias to them, Brethren, be of good courage. Let us yet endure 5 days, in the which space the Lord our power may turn his mercy toward us, for he will not forsake us utterly. And if these days pass and there come no help unto us, I will do according to your word. All right. And then so Judith in the next chapter, she told him about herself, man. I'm going to start at verse 9. Judith 8 verse 9 says, Now when she heard the evil words of the people against the governor, that they had fainted for lack of water, for Judith had heard all the words that Ozias had spoken unto them, and that he had sworn to deliver the city into the Assyrians after 5 days. Then she sent her waiting woman that had the government of all things that she had, to call Ozias and Chabris and Charmis, the ancients of the city. And they came unto her, and she said unto them, Hear me now, O ye governors of the inhabitants of Bethulia, for your words that ye have spoken before the people this day are not right, touching this oath which ye have made, which ye made and pronounced between the Most High and you, and have promised to deliver the city to our enemies, unless within these days the Lord turn to help you. And now who are ye that ye have tempted the Most High this day, and stand instead of the Most High among the children of men? And now try the Lord Almighty, but ye shall never know anything. And then she goes on to pretty much say, I'm going to just jump there, I'll read it. I'm going to keep going. It says, for ye cannot, because I want to get to the point, of the lesson. For ye cannot find the depth of the heart of man, neither can ye perceive the things that he thinketh. Then how can ye search out the Most High, that have made all these things, and know his mind, or comprehend his purpose? Nay, my brethren, provoke not the Lord our power to anger. For if he will not help us within these 5 days, he hath power to defend us when he will, even every day, or to destroy us before our enemies. Do not bind the counsels of the Lord our power, for the Most High is not as man, that he may be threatened, neither is he as the Son of Man, that he should be wavering. Therefore let us wait for our salvation, for salvation of him, and call upon him for help. Call upon him to help us, and he will hear our voice if it please him. Okay. So, and you're going to see this also in the book of Maccabees, man, where the victory comes by the Lord at the end of the day, man. So we just need to hold on and give our faith. Now, when you go into the word devote, it says appropriate by, or as if by a vow. This is on Etamon Online. It says dedicate by a vow, sacrifice oneself, promise solemnly. All right. Apply zealously or exclusively. It says as to doom, cosign to some harm or evil. Now you got to understand, when you come into this thing of ours, when you've been enlightened with this this glorious gospel, it's going to, you have to hold on to that till the end. This is why the scriptures say, fight the good fight of faith, man. But let me keep going on that, the notes I had just about this quote, but this is and they also talks about getting yourself a name. This is like the heroes, man. But ultimately, these are some of the words that come to mind when you think of this, man. And I'm gonna post a video just so you can see a little piece of it. I'm gonna post it in the thread. I'm not gonna play it to not get a strike. But it says, resolve, okay, unity, and a willingness to confront danger with all one's strength and determination. All right. Now, when you go into the word resolve, hold up. It says settle or find a solution, a problem, or a contentious matter. Decide firmly on a course of action. And that's ultimately what it is, man. You know, we already made up our minds that we're going to hold on to this and we're going to be faithful unto the death, man. You know? And those are the characteristics of the followers of the Lord. You know? What does it says? Revelation 12 and 11. It says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death. Okay? So we love not our lives unto death. That's why we able to sacrifice everything, man. Even our own lives, even our, you know, we got to give up. If we have to give up our jobs, our loved ones, you know, for this thing, if they are an obstacle, we have made up our minds to give our lives into the Lord, man. You know, and we're gonna keep His word until the end. Now, some of us may have to be beheaded for it. You know, some of us will have to die for this thing. But the Lord also said that if we keep the word of His patience, then He will also keep us from the hour of temptation, man. You know. So now, before I get Maccabees, I want to get because we was reading the book of Nehemiah, the DC camp, and it was something that resonated with me in that chapter. In that book, chapter 4, right? Because you know what was happening in the book of Nehemiah. The temple, the gates was destroyed, you know, and this was they wanted to rebuild the wall, but doing so, they faced they faced opposition, you know. Where is it? Now, when you go into the blue letter, matter of fact, let me pull it up real quick so you can see what it says. All right. What the heck? Just 4. So it says work is ridiculed. All right. By these heathens. Look at these damn heathens, man. You know. But I don't want to jump straight to the point. I'm going to start at verse 7. Nehemiah 4, verse 7. But it came to pass that when Sanballat and Tobiah and the Arabians and the Ammonites and the Ashdodites heard that the walls of Jerusalem were made up and that the breaches began to be stopped, then they were very wroth and conspired all of them together to come and to fight against Jerusalem and to hinder it, because they want us in a lower state, man. They want to be able to. They want us to be a prey unto them. You know, they want to be able to prey upon us, man. You know, they are the predators and we are the prey, man. And that's how they like it. So when we started to build up the walls and was going to be able to, fortify ourselves, they had a problem with it, right? But it says discouragement overcome. And I'm going to read, the point is here in verse 14. It says, nevertheless, we made our prayer unto the Most High and set a watch against them day and night because of them. And Judah said, the strength of the bearers of burdens is decayed, and there is much rubbish, so that we are not able to build the wall. And our adversary said, they shall not know, neither see, till we come in the midst among them and slay them and cause their work to cease. And they doing the same thing now. We building up the spiritual temple, and they trying to hinder us, man. You know, and just like in this book, we had to fight against them. You had to fight against our people. You know, like right now, we fighting against our own people who should, be, but like the scriptures say, they made no account of our labors. They should, want this, But this is a part of the battle, man. Again, we fighting the good fight of faith. It says, and it came to pass that when the Jews which dwelt by them came, they said unto us 10 times, from all places whence ye shall return unto us, they will be upon you. Therefore sat I in the lower places behind the wall, and on the higher places I even set the people after their families with their swords, their spears, and their bows. So you got to fight and build at the same time. Here's the point. It says, and I looked and rose up and said unto the nobles and to the rulers and to the rest of the people, be not ye afraid of them. Remember remember the Lord, which is great and terrible, and fight for your brethren, your sons and your daughters, your wives and your houses. All right. And it came to pass when our enemies heard that it was known unto us, and the Most High had brought their counsel to naught, that we returned all of us to the wall, every one unto his work. And so this is the point right here, man. You know, that was a rallying cry right there. And it always points back into the Lord, man, because the Lord is our strength. He will fight for us. Okay. Now I'm going to jump back, or I'm going to jump to the book of Maccabees. This book is in the Apocrypha, if you're unfamiliar. Apocrypha was a part of the original 1611 King James Bible. Salakia. And it was taken out. When you look up the word Apocrypha, it means hidden away. But this is like history right here. All right. First Maccabees, I want to jump. First Maccabees 2 and verse. Let me see where I want to start. Yeah, because they was trying to attack us on a Sabbath, man. And Jake wasn't trying to fight against them on the Sabbath, man. You know? But this is like, I'm gonna jump at verse 40. Well, I'm gonna jump at verse 39. It says, First Maccabees 2 and 39 says, now when Mattathias and his friends understood hereof, they mourned for them right sore. And one of them said to another, if we all do as our brethren have done, and fight not for our lives and laws against the heathen, they will now quickly root us out of the earth. Yeah, it just wouldn't make sense if since we're not going to fight on the Sabbath, you know what I'm saying? They would just eliminate our whole seed line, man, our whole bloodline, you know? And so they jumped up and said this. And it's going to show you that the Lord was with them because he fought with them. It says, at that time, therefore, they decreed, saying, whosoever shall come to make battle with us on the Sabbath day, we will fight against him. Neither will we die all as our brethren that were murdered in the secret places. Then came there unto him a company of Assyrians who were mighty men of Israel, even all such as were voluntarily devoted unto the law. So remember, devote your hearts. You know, give your what we know hearts is your mind, man. Your whole heart, your whole soul. You know, dedicated to this thing. Yeah, shout out to Syrians DMV. You know, but my elder Pashai. It says also, all they that fled for persecution joined themselves unto them and were a stay unto them. So they joined their forces and smote sinful men in their anger and wicked men in their wrath, but the rest fled to the heathen for succor. So our people, they run to the heathen for help, man. You know? Then Mattathias and his friends went round about and pulled down the altars, and what children soever they found within the coast of Israel uncircumcised, those they circumcised valiantly. They pursued also after the proud men, and the work prospered in their hand. You see? The work prospered. So they recovered the law out of the hand of the Gentiles, again the heathens, and out of the hand of the kings, neither suffered they the sinner to triumph. Now when the time drew near that Mattathias should die, he said unto his sons, now have pride and rebuke gotten strength in the time of destruction and the wrath of indignation. Now therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the law, and give your lives for the covenant of your fathers. Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time, so shall ye receive great honor and an everlasting name. Was not Abraham found faithful in temptation, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness? Joseph in the time of distress kept the commandment and was made Lord of Egypt. Phineas, our father, in being zealous and fervent, obtained the covenant of an everlasting priesthood. It says Jesus, you know, but it's talking about Joshua, for fulfilling the word, was made a judge in Israel. Caleb, because they have the same name essentially, Caleb for bearing. And these dudes, you got people that's still not calling on the true name of the Lord, man. It says Caleb for bearing witness before the congregation received the heritage of the land. David for being merciful possessed the throne of an everlasting kingdom. Elias for being zealous and fervent, for the law was taken up into heaven. Talking about Elijah. Ananias, Azarias, and Mishael by believing were saved out of the flame, the three holy children. Daniel for his innocency, which I believe that language was Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. It says Daniel for his innocency was delivered from the mouth of lions. You see, in all these things, the Lord was the one that intervened. And thus consider ye throughout all the ages that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome. Fear not then the words of a sinful man, for his glory shall be dung and worms. Today he shall be lifted up, and tomorrow he shall not be found, because he is returned into the dust and is thought to come to nothing. Wherefore, ye, my sons, be valiant, and show yourselves men in behalf of the law, for by it ye shall obtain glory. All right. And also you read, you got First Maccabees, the 3rd chapter, the 4th chapter, the 5th chapter, even 2nd Maccabees, man. When you read through these things, it gives you encouragement, man. Like I said, that give your hearts was a rallying cry, man. For them to find courage, in the face of that adversity, and he did the same things. But you really just go through the scriptures, man. This is how you're gonna have that same hope. I also had like I said, just read those books. Then you got the 2nd Maccabees 13. I'm gonna get one more just so you can see. Yeah, I'm gonna go to 2nd Maccabees 15 because it's ultimately all of the Lord, and then I'm gonna wrap this one up. Got a couple things to do. All right. This is 2nd Maccabees 15 and 7. It says, but Maccabeus had ever sure confidence that the Lord would help him, whereas he exhorted his people not to fear the coming of the heathen against them, but to remember the help which in former times they had received from heaven, and now to expect the victory and aid which should come unto them from the Almighty. And so comforting them out of the law and the prophets, and withal putting them in mind of the battles that they won afore, he made them more cheerful. You see that? This is why it's important to know these stories, man, because this is what builds up your faith. And also, we go into the highways and the byways, we building up our faith there as well. It says, verse 10, and when he had stirred up their minds, he gave them charge, showing them therewithal the falsehood of the heathen and the breach of oaths. Thus he armed every one of them, not so much with defense of shields and spears, as with comfortable and good words. And beside that, he told them a dream worthy to be believed, as if it had been so indeed, which did not a little rejoice them. It says, and this was his vision, that Ananias, who had been high priest, a virtuous and good man, reverent in conversation, gentle in condition, well-spoken also, and exercised from a child in all points of virtue, holding up his hands, prayed for the whole body of the Jews. This done, in like manner there appeared a man with gray hairs and exceeding glorious, who was of a wonderful and excellent majesty. Then Onias answered, saying, this is a lover of the brethren, who prayeth much for the people and for the holy city, with Jeremiah the prophet of the Most High. Whereupon Jeremiah, holding forth his right hand, gave to Judas a sword of gold, and in giving it spake thus, take thy holy sword, a gift from the Most High, which with the which thou shalt wound the adversaries. Thus being well comforted by the words of Judas, which were very good and able to stir them up to valor and to encourage the hearts of young men. And see, that's that. Give your hearts, man, encouraging the hearts. They determined not to pitch camp, but courageously to set upon them, and manfully to try the matter by conflict, because the city and the sanctuary and the temple were in danger. For the care that they took for their wives and their children, their brethren and folks, was in least account with them. But the greatest and principal fear was the holy temple. You see that? As sacrifice, man. Also, they that were in the city took not the least care, being troubled for the conflict abroad. And now, when all as all looked what should be the trial, and the enemies were already come near, and the army was in array, and the beasts conveniently placed, and the horsemen sat in wings, Maccabees, seeing the coming of the multitude, and the diverse preparations of armor, and the fierceness of the beast, stretched out his hand toward heaven, and called upon the Lord that worketh wonders, knowing that victory cometh not by arms, but even as it seemeth good to him, he giveth it to such as are worthy. All right. And so the victory cometh by the Lord, man. You know, the Lord is the one that's going to set up the victors, and he already concluded that the kingdom of heaven is going to be set up, and it's not going to be left to another, man. You know, so that's all we got to keep in our minds. I'm not going to read the rest of it, you know. Just wanted to read that part, you know, so that you can kind of get an idea of what's going on. But, you know, when I was watching this series, that's what came up in my mind, man. You know, but it's like I said, like all those words, resolved, you know. This is the strength that you got to call upon in the face of that adversity. You got to be determined, man. You got to already have your minds made up. You know, so with that, Lord willing, that was edifying. Until the next lesson, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakadash. Till the next one, I want to say Shalom.